3. Development of state property in the USA and England after the Second World War. State property as enrichment for monopolies. Post-war state property became a source of enrichment for monopolies, subjugating state apparatus in capitalist countries. US and UK post-war state enterprises. State-owned enterprises in the US and UK, built with government funds during World War II, were sold or leased to monopolies post-war. US government actions. Under pressure, the U.S. sold state enterprises not needed for military purposes to monopolies at reduced costs. Geneva plant sale. A plant in Geneva, Utah, costing $200 million, was sold to U.S. Steel Corporation for $48.5 million. Chicago plant sale. Republic Steel bought a plant near Chicago, costing $91 million, for $35 million on installment. Monopoly acquisitions. By December 1946, large monopolies acquired 70% of state capacities built with budget funds. Large monopolies. U.S. Steel, International Harvester, Allied Chemical and Dye, General Electric, General Motors, and Bethlehem Steel acquired 48% of sold production capacity. Similar trends in England. After World War I, England saw state-owned factories transferred to private firms, leading to monopolistic enterprises. Chemical industry. Government-funded chemical production centers operated by monopolies during World War II were transferred to them post-war. Growth of state ownership. Despite reprivatization, state ownership grew in certain industries through new construction and nationalization. U.S. military industry development. Post-World War II, the U.S. state funded the development of atomic weapons, investing billions. Atomic energy investments. Significant budget allocations supported atomic weapons industry development. American imperialism and state monopoly. The atomic weapons industry emerged as a state monopoly, with expenses and management controlled by the state, though influenced by monopolies. Atomic Energy Commission. Dominated by individuals linked to financial groups, representing monopoly interests. Key figures. Members like David Lilienthal and Sumner Pike had ties to major financial and industrial groups. Advisory committees. The commission was surrounded by advisory committees representing major monopolies. Monopoly struggles. Financial groups and monopolies competed for influence and contracts in the nuclear industry. Plutonium plant. Initially built by DuPont, later managed by General Electric under a state contract. Hydrogen bomb plant. DuPont secured a contract for building a new plant in South Carolina. Monopoly dominance in nuclear industry. Monopolies like DuPont, General Electric, and Union Carbide played significant roles in the nuclear sector. Union Carbide's role. Maintained control over uranium-235 production, resisting pressure from other groups. Internal competition. Within the state-owned nuclear industry, competing materials and technological processes were dominated by rival monopolistic groups. The control of the U.S. nuclear industry by large monopolies, emphasizing the role of the Atomic Energy Commission (AEC) and how it facilitates this control. Here's a bullet point summary of the key points. Control by monopolies. Large monopolies dominate the U.S. nuclear industry, with both the construction and operation of plants being in their hands. A member of the Atomic Energy Commission, Banker Strauss, admitted that American industrialists control all nuclear production. Role of the Atomic Energy Commission. The AEC primarily oversees its headquarters and local branches. While the government owns the raw materials and finished products, private enterprises manage uranium mining, refining, and all production levels. Atomic Energy Act of 1946. This act emphasized promoting free competition among private enterprises. However, the Commission's policy of contract exploitation allowed for the involvement of private scientific and industrial organizations, ultimately benefiting a narrow group of tycoons. Contract policy. Contracts are distributed without competitive bidding, benefiting a select group of major monopolies. This contradicts the stated goal of encouraging broad participation and free competition. Monopolies' advantages. Monopolies benefit from government contracts without bearing the costs of construction, development, or risks associated with scientific research. They receive secret scientific information, have a guaranteed sales market, and are protected against accidents and losses. They also receive management fees from the state, such as Union Carbide Company's $2 million fee for the Oak Ridge plant in 1949. State and monopoly relationship. Lilienthal described the relationship as a partnership, but it's more of a merger of state and monopoly interests. The monopolies absorb and subordinate state property and apparatus, demonstrating imperialism's role in subordinating the state economy to monopolies. Atomic Energy Commission's role. The AEC acts as an administrative and accounting body for corporations controlling production. Allen describes the U.S. nuclear industry as an advanced cartel, where production sectors are distributed among the largest monopolies, subject to change based on internal power struggles. Nationalization significance. The nationalization of industries, transport, and the Bank of England was crucial for developing state property in England after World War II, driven by the contradictions and peculiarities of British imperialism during the second stage of capitalism's general crisis. Weakened position. England's international standing and market position weakened post-World War II. American monopoly capital gained influence in colonies and markets, challenging England's economic position. Technical backwardness. English industry faced technical backwardness, high production costs, and decreased competitiveness. Pre-war issues, such as low output per worker and outdated industries like coal, persisted and worsened during the war. Coal industry decline. The coal industry, characterized by small, inefficient mines and low mechanization, faced declining production and high accident rates. Strikes and worker migration further exacerbated the decline. Despite decreasing production, monopolies in the coal industry continued to profit due to high prices and government subsidies. Transport and infrastructure issues. Similar technical backwardness was evident in transport, electricity, and metallurgy. Outdated equipment and fragmented systems led to inefficiency and high costs, impacting consumers and the state budget. Monopoly profit protection. Nationalization allowed monopolies to protect profits and shift the burden of technical upgrades to the state, effectively transferring costs to workers. Working class discontent. The working class faced increased poverty and discontent post-war. The admiration for the Soviet socialist system and the desire for significant social change grew among the English people. Labour Party victory. In 1945, the Labour Party, advocating for peace and socialism, won elections, reflecting public demand for change. The nationalization, though benefiting monopolists, was framed as a socialist initiative to appease workers. Bourgeois nationalization motives. Nationalization aimed to strengthen English monopoly capital's international position and prepare for future conflicts. The Labour Party's criteria for nationalization included industries crucial for raw materials, monopolized sectors, inefficient operations, large-scale investments, and strained labor relations. Nationalization's true motives. The nationalization of certain industries in England after World War II was portrayed as benefiting the public, but it primarily served the interests of English monopoly capital. The right-wing Labour leaders did not challenge the monopoly capitalists, such as the English Chemical Trust, despite claiming otherwise. Strengthening monopoly capital. The nationalization program was a strategy to save and strengthen English monopoly capital, reinforcing the dominance of the financial oligarchy. It was a means of subordinating the state apparatus to monopolies rather than pursuing socialist goals. Conservative support. Nationalization projects, except for transport and ferrous metallurgy, were developed with input from conservative committees and faced little opposition in Parliament. Even coal miners' associations did not strongly oppose coal industry nationalization. Scope of nationalization. Industries nationalized included the Bank of England, coal, electric power and gas industries, telegraph and radio communications, transport, and ferrous metallurgy. Nationalization was limited to inefficient industries, often benefiting capitalism rather than altering its character. Compensation to owners. Nationalization involved generous compensation to owners, often exceeding the actual value of their assets. For example, mine owners received £164,660,000 for outdated mines, and owners of electric power enterprises received £370 million. The total compensation was about £2.8 billion. Management by monopolists. The management of nationalized enterprises remained in the hands of large monopolists, with central and regional state departments led by figures from monopoly capital. This reinforced the link between the financial oligarchy and the state apparatus. Impact on industries. After nationalization, industries like coal experienced some production increase but continued to face inefficiencies and losses. These losses were covered by the Treasury, while former owners enjoyed guaranteed income from the state. Worker dissatisfaction. Workers were dissatisfied with nationalization results, as it did not change their relationship with management. Strikes, such as those at Grimethorpe, highlighted this dissatisfaction. Workers remained wage laborers, and exploitation persisted. Monopoly control and forced syndication. Nationalization was used to consolidate control over industries, forcing smaller firms into larger state monopoly associations. This consolidation benefited the largest monopoly capitalists, who gained control over state-managed enterprises. Reprivatization. Nationalization was a method to enrich monopolies with state support, followed by reprivatization. The conservative government reversed nationalization in industries like iron and steel, showing how nationalization and denationalization both served monopoly interests. Labour Party's stance. The Labour Party resisted calls to renationalize denationalized industries without compensation, revealing internal disagreements and challenges in maintaining a consistent policy on nationalization.